Hey, what's up everybody? So in today's video, I'd actually like to delve a little bit into some OG Trials content. Something I feel like not many people have essentially gone back to analyze. I'm not entirely sure if anybody else has done this, so this will definitely be a first. However, the thing I'd like to analyze mostly since, well, I don't know the basis of the origin as well as the general build-up towards the theorycraft approach, is analyze the execution and this in turn hopefully be able to showcase to people how, well, a perspective that essentially understands what it takes to legitimately be able to execute at the highest level and do it consistently while adapting to various different occurrences in the midst of a behemoth, especially when the trial is more so a brawl slash dodge perspective than one that's mainly, well, stagger locking the living shit out of it through part breaks and staggers pretty much, or hell, even shock procs if you want to get into that. But this is actually one of the first top one trials placements ever by my good friend Spara. Essentially, this is the seventh group trials top one in the history of Dauntless, where they do a Koshai 30-second top one with all four hammers. And I'm pretty sure all of them are extended clip. And yeah, this is pretty much Spar's first top one ever as well. So we'll definitely be able to kind of look at history together in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I'm just going to be analyzing the execution because I feel like a lot of people have been trying to get an idea of execution comparisons of the past eras, mid eras, as well as like the current eras. And I actually do want to say and go at this in an open-minded approach and legitimately just be able to do a lot of do as much justice as I possibly can at giving flowers to the people who deserve it in regards to how good they were. So let's go ahead and get into this quick video. I'll play the audio just a little bit so you can hear the music and you can kind of get the idea of what they're kind of trying to showcase. But yeah, kind of dope. Spar speaking facts here, going for the pots when they didn't have catalyst back in the day. Spara is pylon guy. Don't recall if they actually had jump timing, but execution wise, here we go. So pre starting their Aether Slams, ensure Aether Slams hit upon Koshai Boop for maximum core damage. Now, here's the interesting thing that I actually find the old guys tend to do really well, and is part focus in the midst of the most ridiculous visual clutter in the history the game has ever seen. And yes, people will argue that Cascade meta legitimately had 50 bajillion orbs that existed, but I'll be completely honest, if you have visual clutter where you legitimately cannot see any form of the behemoth and you're still able to part focus the arm with a hammer prime, and you're legitimately, for example, listening to thousands of audio clutter of various things going on at once, as well as seeing the screen jiggle of a rather unoptimized version of Dauntless, there is quite a bit of respect that should go towards the players that are able to execute at a high level consistently and able to adapt to whatever the behemoth's doing because, well, you can't see shit. So it's kind of fucking crazy. So massive explosions going everywhere, Aether slams at the maximum visual potency. Look at that. You can't even see where your character is. Spar is going for an Aether slam, but to hell, where the fuck is the arm? You know what I mean? So, doing your best to focus in the midst of whatever makes complete sense to go for TE in this era as well. You can't even see Koshai anymore once again. Trying to do the most damage he possibly can. Over Fraz, literally going for the boot bait. Beautiful. And once again, we're going to see a fuckload of visual clutter. The darkness of TE, once again, makes it so. It's going to get harder to see. Part focusing seems borderline impossible. If, for example, you don't know where your character is generally placed, but it's very impressive that Spar and team are able to actually bring it and get that top one. I'm actually very curious to see how many times Spara was able to replicate this run and farm for it. But it's actually so crazy to see how much visual clutter, screen shake, potentially audio explosions that are occurring. Because like that's the thing. In order to potentially and properly prime your uppercuts back then, I feel like you're going to need to account for a lot more since visual clutter is just absolutely nuts. Is Spar even priming? No, just mainly going for Aether Slams, which makes sense. Full on Aether Slam core damage is ridiculous. But yeah, I just can't help but watch these old content, honestly. I feel like there's a lot of old content that I feel like you can analyze. But honestly, being able to replicate and anticipate, like for people who don't know how to execute at the highest level, it legitimately comes down to consistency and adaptability. As long as you're able to understand different ways of adapting and optimizing your play, such as here, technically, in a perfect world, of course, earlier pylon placement where Spara would be able to match the head start Mohammed was able to get on his Aether Slam here. But still, pretty similar outcome considering Koshai is on the ground and Spar is able to get the Aether Slam down from head to tail. Maximum core damage, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty much it in regard to the execution analysis towards this trials video. I'm honestly very impressed that they're able to actually implement so much in the midst of all of this batshit craziness. But I know this is definitely one of Spar's first top ones, and he's definitely done a lot other ones in terms of adapting to multiple eras. So I'd love to analyze execution and react, as well as just in turn talk about stuff in regard to older Dauntless Trials runs, because I feel like there's a lot of information that you can garner from watching old runs. I mean, that's the thing I've been telling everybody I've coached, especially even the people who've just essentially gone for top 100s. Do not ever forsake old runs because you can learn a thing or two about how things operate. And if, for example, competition truly starts to stir, you could end up understanding something about how to potentially manipulate a behemoth's AI to conform to whatever strategy you would like, especially if you know how to bait out its attacks or potentially even bait out an insta-boop and see if, well, the code holds up from back then and is replicable in the current time. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it from me. I probably will end up analyzing more runs execution wise because, well, at the same time, I don't exactly know what steps were taken from those guys' end to come up with a theory craft. So I'd like to at least give space in regard to the respect of that and make sure I only go down a route where I really, really know and can see just from my perspective. But yeah, it's funny because a lot of people claim this to be Unga Bunga City, but I won't lie, if it was truly just Unga Bunga City, then well, it wouldn't look like as impressive. Like this is really impressive, just in general. But anyways, guys, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And if you liked and enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care, and have a good night, guys. Peace out.